Hey, what's going on, everyone? Austin Distal here, out in Austin, Texas. It's finally feeling like autumn here, and we got Austin City Limits coming up soon. So the team's getting excited. I think some of us are going to go together. But you don't care about any of that. What you do care about is growing your digital marketing agency, whether you're selling SEO services, Facebook ads, copywriting, or content writing of any type. And no better to help you do that than Josh from Seven Figure Agency. Josh, welcome aboard, man. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. Pumped and excited to share, excited to kind of unpack some things that seven-figure agencies are doing and how they're leveraging Jarvis to really drive great results for clients, retain clients at a higher level, and ultimately improve efficiency and profitability within their agencies.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, so I'm going to only share a quick story, a little about my experience growing my marketing agency, because maybe somebody in the crowd could relate with it. About 7 years ago, I was a I'm still young, but 20-year-old digital marketing agency owner that I was focused on selling Facebook ads to chiropractors in good old Atlanta, Georgia. I was in college and studying my degree in online marketing. It was a brand new major that big professor had a large marketing agency, and then she decided to link up with Facebook and Google to teach the class together. And so that was my introduction into digital marketing. And while all my colleagues were going off to try and get a job for like $48K a year as a digital marketer at an agency, I was like, wait, that could maybe be just one client, you know? And so I was, that was, my entrepreneurial wheels started turning. And I started thinking, how do I sell more of these retainers? And that's when I met my mentor, Dave Rogenmoser. And I bought his course with all my spring break money, $1,000, to get him to teach me how to get contracts, retainers for selling Facebook ads and SEO to chiropractors in Atlanta. Long story short, we eventually now got here today where I'm working with him, still now partnered in Jarvis, where we're helping build software tools for marketing agencies. Now, how about that? Just long-winded way to get there. And so maybe somebody in the crowd can relate with that story where you are, a young college kid, or maybe you've been now scaling your business to 7 figures as a marketing agency owner, like these guys all have. And so we're going to start talking about how to use Jarvis today to scale your content and copywriting production, to make your Facebook ads more efficient, how to, build a team around using Jarvis, standard operating procedures, how to build recipes to move 5 times faster with automations. And that's what these guys have been able to do. So I'm going to hand the floor over here to Josh at Seven Figure Marketing Agency, and he'll be able to do most of the training. But I'm going to be on your all side here in the comments section. If you have any questions, there might be a time where I feature it, just like this. Like Brandon says, hey, when are we actually going to talk about Jarvis? Well, that is coming now. And so if you guys have questions like that, put them in the comment section, no matter where you are, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and I'll put it here. Also, if there's any nuggets that just jump out at you, I want you to do a hashtag nugget and then put it what it was. So at the end of this, we can all go back, look at the comment thread really quickly, and just be like, oh, that was brilliant. That was a really cool thought. So whenever you hear that from Josh, go ahead, hashtag nugget. Sound good, y'all?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Let's get rocking. Josh, the floor is yours, man. Take it away.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be on here and kind of sharing how you guys can leverage Jarvis in your digital marketing agencies, in your SEO agencies, ultimately to generate better results for your clients and better efficiencies in your agency. I'm excited to be joined by 2 7-figure agencies as well. Danny Barrera from Concrete Marketing Crew. He runs a digital marketing agency serving the decorative concrete space, has grown to high seven figures. He is a ninja when it comes to all things SEO and operations. He also runs Operations Kickstart. So he'll be sharing kind of how he's using it day in and day out in his agency. And we've got Lynn Askin, Rackstar Digital Media, very, very, very smart SEO, Google Ads specialist, running a high seven-figure agency as well. A lot of white label work. So agencies subcontract to him to get this stuff done. So give me a 1 in comments here if you're excited about learning some new ideas, strategies, and kind of building up your confidence on how you can leverage Jarvis and marketing automation and artificial intelligence to generate better results for your clients. Excellent. So quick snapshot of what we're going to cover, and then we're going to dive right into it. We're going to talk about the types of content that you can generate with Jarvis, especially as it relates to serving your clients. Because a lot of us have thought about Jarvis as a tool to write copy, write for yourselves, maybe within your agency, write your Facebook ads, write your landing page copy. Well, you can absolutely use it and use it as a tool to generate better results for your clients. We're going to talk about the types of content that you can generate. We're also going to be sharing some specific examples of the type of content that will wow your client base and really move the needle for them in terms of their rankings and their lead flow. We're going to then show you on the scale side of an agency, it's one thing to get it here and be like, okay, I want to use these tools. I want to understand how it works. But really to grow and scale an agency, you can't do that yourself. You have to figure out how you can employ a team to actually leverage Jarvis and give them the statements of procedure, give them the processes to do that. So give me an SOPs in the comment if you'd like some specific step-by-step how you can show a team how to run with this. And then we're going to talk about how to recruit, because finding quality, affordable writers that you can plug into this will make the difference between being able to scale really quickly or kind of being bottlenecked. And just like, I got lots of clients that want to use this, but I don't necessarily have the team to execute. So that's the main stuff. That's what we really want to cover today. We can go any direction you want. You've got 3 high seven-figure digital marketing agencies on here. We're open to answer and cover anything that you want, but this is the core flow for today's session. So here's the problem. I always like to start with the problem before we dive into solutions. The problem, as I see it in our agencies as it relates to content, is cranking out content is time-consuming and expensive, right? And when you think about the amount of content we should create for our clients, all 3 of us on the line and what we teach here at Seven Figure Agency is around the idea of choosing a niche, positioning yourself as the expert, and then having a monthly retainer to do everything they need to generate results online. Website SEO, pay-per-click, social media, and everything in between. For us, that means we're writing 27 to 50 pages for their website. We're blogging for them on a monthly basis. We're updating GMB posts. We're updating social posts. And to do that, you almost need an army of your own writers, or you need to pay third-party writers, either freelance or through services that you might use. And that can be extremely expensive, which is hard to scale and hard to provide great service to the clients. That's one problem as I see it. The other problem is there's other things we all know we could do on behalf of our clients to get them better results. But there's only so much you can do on a $1,000 to $2,000 a month retainer. And so that becomes a frustrating experience. Put frustrated if you ever felt like, man, I wish I could do more. I know I could be, creating more city pages. I know I could be creating more service pages. I know I could go deeper with this stuff, but it just doesn't scale. I couldn't cost effectively get that done. And the other concern as it relates to content is the clients can be picky, right? Sometimes clients are like, they want to read it, they want to vet it, they want to approve it before it goes live. And we're worried. I know a lot of the agencies, the seven-figure agents, when we started introducing Jarvis as a tool, we're worried, man, the clients aren't going to approve of that. That's going to look like, spun content. And so these are the challenges. These are the challenges we want to solve for on today's session and give you those specific step-by-steps. The opportunity, as I see it, the opportunity is to leverage Jarvis to streamline and really make make your content extraordinary. If you think of it as a tool and you use it the way we're going to be showing you on today's session, you can create much better content with less effort and with better efficiency. And ultimately, what we're going to be able to do is have a bigger impact because we're using tools, we're using Jarvis. We can create more content, we can go bigger with it, we can get that content out there, which is going to drive better results for the client, which is going to drive better retention. And ultimately, what we found is when we do this right, the clients are blown away by the quality of the content. They're blown away by the outcomes that you can deliver for them. And really, that's what we're after today. At the end of the day, as digital marketing agencies, really, this is going to help you drive better results, better retention in your monthly retainers, and really more efficiency and profit. So give me a yes if that's the opportunity you want to solve for and you're excited about diving into this with Lynn and Danny and kind of unpacking this. Awesome. What I want to do now, I want to introduce you to Lynn Askin from Rackstar Digital Media. Lynn, are you able to share your screen here and kind of talk through the tools and the types of content that you create with Jarvis in your agency?
Sure, I'd love to do that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we can just talk about that. So let's talk first about SEO and about what it is, and let's talk about the kinds of things that we generate for our clients. So, you know, people talk about SEO being this ever-changing thing, and you got to keep on top of it. And Google's always changing the algorithm, and everything's changing all the time. You have to stay on top. And the truth is, the things that we've been doing for years and years and years around creating great content for our clients, answering questions that their potential prospects are asking in the search engines, and putting yourselves in the mind of the consumer, but when they search, has always worked. It's always worked. You don't have to necessarily worry about all the next little tactic here or there. We're delivering great content to our clients. We're putting great content out for their potential clients to be able to find them on the search engines. And so when we build a lot of websites, we've built 300 websites for the last 2 years for clients. And as you know, these are not one-page websites. We built out pretty massive websites that are designed to attract their ideal client. And so, when we think about our content and think about what we're actually building for clients, we build a website, we've got a home page, we've got the typical, we got the About Us page and those things. But then you have the services that the client provides. And so when we talk about services, we typically build with our website somewhere around 10 different pages of what, actual service content the client does. We want to be able to rank for, lawn care service, Dallas, Texas, or, fertilization service, Dallas, Texas, or, Botox supplier, Botox doctor in Crowley, Louisiana, right? And so for you to actually rank for those keywords, you have to build content and build pages around them. It's a little bit like walking into a bookstore or a library and you see a row of books and you see it, all you see, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but we have to, right? You have to. You can't just grab every book and know what it's about without reading the cover. So seeing the title, seeing the cover is basically what we're doing to Google. We're telling them what the title of the page is, and we're giving them a description of it, and they make a description, and then we're building out all of the content that attracts the searcher. And so doing that for service pages is a no-brainer. So we're writing 1,000 words of content on the homepage. We're writing 10 service pages, about 1,000 words a piece. That's, we're up to 11,000 words of content. And then we want to attract clients around their different locations. So you may have one central point. Let's just say you were maybe a pest control company. Maybe you have a bunch of technicians that are servicing all of the communities around you. So you have all of these different cities and municipalities around you, and you don't want to just rank for Lafayette, Louisiana. You want to also rank for Rain and Opelousas and all the other cities around. And so we build a lot of service page content around the zip codes and the service areas around each content. So now, throw on another 10 location pages, we're up to, 21,000, 22,000 words of content. We're going to write a good About Us section on the page. Let me scroll here a little bit. And then And then, maybe we've got the website done. Maybe we're in 25, 30, 40, 50,000 words of content. And then we're going to start marketing. So then we're going to build content for SEO. So, just the GMB listing alone, you're going to write, 700 word business summary. You're going to write 1,000 word business summary. 750 word business description, a business summary. You're going to write out all their service content, and you're going to write social media content. So, as part of our SEO packages, we handle a client's GMB, we handle posting to the social media, we handle adding content to the website, we handle building, content on the G site. So we're going to build pages of content for that. We're going to write amazing training out there on YouTube. Reform, one of the members of the group here, did a fantastic training on using a tool called SEO Minion for scraping the people also ask questions. Maybe we'll look at that in a minute. But that sort of changed our life over here because, people are asking questions. What I said before was, put yourself in the mind of the consumer. Where are they in the buying process? What are they concerned about? One of the things we talk about a lot in the 7-figure agency about building websites and building websites to convert is what pain or what is the client worried about when they do a search. So let's just take an example. Let's say, and again, in the HVAC niche, let's just say, woman's at home, her air conditioner goes out. She's at home with 2 children. She picks up the phone and she's going to call an HVAC guy. What is she worried about? What are the things she's concerned about? She cares. Am I going to be safe? Is the company going to be reputable? Are they going to, is the price they quote me on the phone the same price that I'm going to pay? Is there any sort of warranty? Are they going to get it done today? I'm the CEO of my household. Are they going to give me, I'll be there between 9 and 6, or are they going to give me a specific time? All of these things are going on in the mind of your consumer. And so having that content and laying that on the site when they land on your homepage, and you're smashing all those objections they might have with your content. And so by doing that, figuring out the questions that people ask, people also ask in Google, you can write a lot of great content for your site. Now, as part of our monthly service, what we do for our clients is one of the things we do is we're building some backlinks and creating some link signals by using a press release service. And so we use press releases. So we write 1,000 words of content about a press release, about a service they might have, about something new going on in the business. And so now we're writing press release content. And then we have Google Ads. And so we've been using another great tutorial out there for using Jarvis to write your dynamic search ads and coming up with headlines, coming up with descriptions. And then there's Facebook ads. We love using the AIDA framework for Facebook ads. And then there's headlines. And again, on and on and on. There's just so much content that you need to write. And Jarvis isn't necessarily, technically it writes it for you. But the truth is, if you can combine some really solid SEO knowledge with a tool like Jarvis, you can really dominate your market. You can get your great ideas and content, and like I said, get inside the mind of the consumer and use Jarvis as a tool to help you to search through, to come up with headline ideas and topic ideas and come up with marketing plans and that sort of thing. You can create a lot of great content around that. And so I think, I don't know if you want me to show you what do you think the next step? Do you want to see? I want to start out by pointing out that I am not the writer for my agency. In the 7-figure agency, our plan is to build a company where we are not necessarily involved in the day-to-day. And so I'm gonna fumble through Jarvis just a little bit today. I'm pretty good with it. But
2 things I'd love to do before we dive into that.
Yeah.
Would you be able to show an example? I'm not sure if you have any conflicts, or I'm sure Danny could probably show an example of kind of how he structures the site with those city pages, service pages, like super quickly. And
yeah,
I'd love to hear from you guys in comments, because some people have apprehensions about using Jarvis on behalf of writing for a client. Like what apprehensions have you had in the past about actually using it for this type of content that we've just discussed?
Oh my gosh, I have a really good example. we have a law client, and lawyers are really particular about the content and about having factually correct information, and as they should be. One of our writers is actually a lawyer. She went to Tulane Law School. She passed the bar. She's a lawyer, and she writes our law content. Well, she got busy. Our big law client needed content, and we like, okay, maybe we should try our other writer, right? So let's just see, if our other writer can use it. So our other writer, our team uses Jarvis, wrote some content. We sent that back to the client. I'm going to share. I think I have it pulled up here in a second. I'm going to share just a piece of my screen really quick. So we were a little nervous about sending this piece of content out. So we wrote a press release and we sent it out to the client and said, hey, hope you're doing great. Here's your first press release for August. Please review and let me know it's ready to publish, blah, blah, blah. Again, sending this out really nervous. Our lawyer did not write this content. He said, reviewed, ready to go, well written. Is this a different person than usual? He never says well written. He enjoyed the content, said it was great. And we're like, yeah, hey, it's a different writer. Happy to know you like the content. He said the writing's fantastic. So this writer that wrote this law content for a really particular lawyer in Los Angeles is in the Philippines, and he's using Jarvis. So I'm hoping that
great example where you can actually produce better content, maybe even with a less educated writer, leveraging this technology in the right way.
Yeah, and I would say again, once again, Jarvis is a tool. You still have to have some knowledge. You have to be a good writer. If you're a good writer or a great writer, Jarvis will make your job even easier. But if you're a mediocre writer or whatever, it will definitely help you also. So I think it's been a great tool for us, and we're really happy with it. And we create a lot of content. So what else do you want to talk about here really quick?
I'd love to bring in Danny for a minute and let Danny kind of talk about some of the SOPs on service pages and city pages. Danny, welcome, man. Thanks for being on here and sharing.
Awesome. Excited to be here, Josh. Awesome. So, tell me where do you think we should take this conversation to?
There's been a couple people asking about how we're structuring city pages and service pages.
Yep.
So if you could show an example of kind of maybe even a client site and how you structure it.
Absolutely.
And then dive into the SOP.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So let me see. Let me share my screen here. And I want to hear as well from you guys in the chat. What is your biggest problem that you're experiencing when it comes to time to write out content for your service pages or your city pages? I'll show you. This is not my client, but I'll show you an example of how you can leverage this. What are some of the problems? And then if you could read those off to me, Josh, as they're coming in, and I'll walk you guys through it. So this is a new client. I think we launched about somewhere around 2 weeks or so ago. They do concrete resurfacing, etc. Literally, we've just launched the site. Content has been leveraged by using Jarvis right here. And, we built a lot of pages depending on their services and service areas. So basically, we do have one page for each service, just like Lynn explained. And then we take the different service areas right here, right? Like the locations of the service area. But in this case, again, brand new client. Okay, you guys can see it. We have a specific format, specific standard that we follow. And in fact, I'm going to share with you guys how we come up with this type of format. Give me a 1 in the comments if that would be helpful, if I can help you come up with your framework to be able to deliver a very consistent work so that you don't have to worry about who's actually doing the writing for you guys. Give me let me see some of that in the comments there. And what we like to do, Josh, like I said, is really create these city pages, because this is what we call the service area expansion for our clients. This is a client that the Google My Business doesn't show the address, for example, right? But they service the entire Nashville. That service area is very competitive in itself. So what we're doing is we're leveraging this city pages, targeting the different cities. And if we look at concrete resurfacing in Franklin, Tennessee, they're already coming up number 2 in the maps just by leveraging that. They're still coming up all the way towards the bottom right here. But again, this is a 2-week-old site. that just came up. And you can see over time, as we start pushing press releases and we start adding other content, like this pages start ranking very high in the top 2, top 3 of the search engine results. So this is kind of like how we structure. You can see there's a lot of content here. So I'll give you guys the exact framework. I also want to show you guys why is it so important to think about service pages, right? Why is it so important? Well, because they're localized. They're localized. And if you think about it, the way Google likes to rank these pages, you know, you look at the top ranking. If we're looking for plumbers, Hollywood, California. This is your niche, Josh. You know it very well. Some of the top sites that come up are directory websites. And yes, they do have a lot of power, authority, trust, all that good stuff. But what can we control and what can we leverage right out of the gate to really gain an unfair advantage on the maps in organic? That is by building localized targeted city pages. So if you service local clients, don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on this. And this is very doable. I'll give you the exact framework. So again, we're looking at the search results in the organic. Number 1 is the directory website Yelp, and just list number 2. And look at this. This is interesting right here. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yep.
North Hollywood plumber. Wow. This is a city page. This is a city page. And you guys will all have the framework on how to be able to do that. You see, they don't have a lot of content. They do have some other heat maps in here, which does help out, right? I will give you the framework that I can tell you if you implement such framework with optimized content with Jarvis and with Surfer SEO or Page Optimizer Pro or the SEMrush content writing assistant, you can outrank these pages very easily. I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time. Let's go and scroll down a little bit more here, and we can see look at this one, emergency local plumbers, West Hollywood. This is another local page that can be doable. And I'm going to tell you, we get all these testimonials all the time. I recently did a training on the city pages and service area expansion. And someone posted, hey, you know, I literally just launched a page and overnight it was ranking in the top 3. And that happens all the time, guys. Just letting you guys know that you guys can come up with this framework here. So this is one way, right? So you guys understand that here, that part of being a niche agency, you know, one of the biggest deals about being a niche agency is this gets easier over time. Meaning I already have we already built out the processes and the frameworks for all of our clients, for their service pages, for their the way that we want to structure the location pages, etc. We already have that already pretty much worked up to the point that we do minor tweaks, and we spend very little time in coming up with the content briefs, which we then delegate to the writers, quote unquote writers, and then you know, we get them optimized and ready to publish. So that's the high value of becoming a niche agency, is over time you can scale because you can leverage the same frameworks and you know, the templates that you built out for your agency. So I'm going to help you here. My goal is, a big promise is to help you come up with your own template that you can use for your clients. And that's brought to you by the 7-Figure Agency team and Josh Nelson, and you know, yours truly right here. So that being said, I can go ahead and walk you guys through the templates if you guys are okay with that. You know, you let me know.
I just want to share one more thing, because I see a couple people saying organic. Really, is that really where it's at? Let me just share my screen for 1 sec, Danny.
Go for it.
I'll just kind of pull up some of the reports for the clients that we do this for, right? And we have about 176 of the top plumbing HVAC companies in the country that we work with. And so if we type in Newport Richey, Florida plumber, the client we work with is Roman Plumbing. You can see here they're the #1 organic in maps. And this isn't duplicate content, right? We're creating unique Jarvis-enabled content for each of the city pages, each of the service pages. So it's unique and it stands out and it converts, right? So anybody saying we're just creating garbage duplicate pages, that's not the play, right? That's the whole point of using a marketing assistant like Jarvis to help you creatively come up with unique content for each of these services, right? And we have to have some unique content. So this is one for like garbage disposals as an example. And then we create pages for each of these cities and towns. Again, with unique content, proper on-page optimization. Danny's about to walk you through the framework. But I wanted to show you This is one of the clients, Roman Plumbing, that we work with. Over 251 leads on only a $5,000 spend. And a lion's share of it's coming from organic.
Would you be able to share your screen real quick, Josh?
Oh, screen's not showing. Was it not showing the whole time?
There we go.
It was not shown.
Yeah. Sorry about that. All right. So I was actually like thinking my screen was being shown. So if we type in, and I'm not going to go deep on this, but if we type in Newport Richie Plumber, you can see dominant top rankings. And does that result in money for the client? And that's really the question, right? If it's SEO for the sake of SEO, who cares? SEO for the sake of generating more leads, more sales, better revenue, that's a win for the client, and that's a win for you as the agency, because they're going to continue to pay you for that. So total investment with this is about $5,000, 251 leads. You can see we're getting some leads from pay-per-click, but there's the lion's share comes from organic. Here's another example of the company we work with in Orlando. So I typed in Orlando plumber. This is Shamrock Plumbing. Dominant, run a few searches using a very similar approach, right? Pages for each of the cities, pages for each of the services, and 838 tracked leads, almost all of them coming from organic. So yes, we want a comprehensive approach, right? We want a good website that's built to convert, but we need pages for each of the services, pages for each of the cities, an SEO strategy with paid layered on. So I just wanted to show some validation. Like, this does generate results, not just activity. And I'm going to hand it back to you, Danny, to kind of walk them through how to do this and do it with Jarvis.
Yeah, awesome. And great comments, by the way. And those of you guys concerned about duplicate content and all that, I mean, there's a process for that, right? We're not just throwing content out there. There is a process. That's what I'm going to share with you guys here. So let me go back here and walk you through this. So I don't know if you can see my screen, guys. Let me know if you can see my screen. So this is something that you guys can all leverage in your agencies to build out processes, okay? Trello. Okay, what's the big deal about Trello? It's not Trello, guys. It's just the fact that when you're building processes in any actual business, they tend to use big Post-it notes and put it up against the wall and kind of say, okay, let me see. They're asking me to zoom in a little bit more, and then I'll zoom in.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, good. So what we're looking at is the different stages going from the very beginning. Okay, what's the very first action item in the stage to the very last action item. So if I want to create city pages that rank, for example, we need to create a process for it that's repeatable, in this case by leveraging Jarvis, right? So in this case, the first stage to get it right, okay, is the preparation stage. Then what happens once we prepare our assets and whatever we need to do and structure and run down in specific order, we go ahead and hand it over to the writers. The writers write it, they optimize it, and then proofread. Okay, there's a content approval process in there, and then publishing. That's what you can do. So you can do this for pretty much any area in your business that you're having the trouble with. You could break it down and say, what's the very first thing that I need to get done? And what is the very last thing? Because I don't know about you guys, but I did not sign up into the agency world to work 16 hours a day or 8 hours a day, right? So I'm down to about an hour a day working in my agency, just letting you guys know. And the rest, the team runs it. Now, I help out with building the processes. So let me go ahead and walk you through. So who uses this? How to use this process specifically? It's basically we want to leverage the preparation process, okay, get the writers to write the content, and how do we, build a quality standard that passes that 100% unique content, etc., optimized via Surfer SEO or Page Optimizer Pro, how to get it approved and send it to publishing. That's basically what we need. How many individuals are involved in this process? Okay, number one is we have the preparer. The preparer is either the content manager. If you have a content manager, or if you have a small team, it could be your main SEO person, SEO VA, someone that knows and understands keyword research and has experience in just putting together the content brief. That's their job. The preparer has one role in this specific process, which is to do the keyword research, make sure we validate the keywords, we're clean in our execution so that we can deliver results to the clients, okay? And then what we do is build that quality standard that we want for our clients so that we can get a specific output. The other person is the person that's going to be writing content via Jarvis. right? Which is the writer, right? Long form writing assistant, just to create the content. They got to run it through according to the guidelines, 100% copyscape, and get that content proofread and optimize it for deployment. You guys following me so far? And then what is the actual city page structure that you can follow? Whether it's whatever the layout is, what is the structure that we want to have? I'm giving you guys access to this. You guys can run it as you want, build your web design according to however you want it. But some of the things that we want to have is some either benefit driven H1 headline, right? Where we want to have the city in a primary category in the Google My Business. Just like I showed you one of our clients recently, he does resurfacing. So we tied into the URL and into the H1. We want to make sure that that is mentioned in some way, shape, or form. We want to have a call to action. Why? Because the majority of individuals will never make it past above default, right? Majority of traffic will never get it there. So make sure that that is explained there. We want to have some outcomes. If you're using a specific type of layout, you can have checklists, etc., some symbols, and then you have your primary keyword variations or variants, right? So then we go on to the other sections of H2 and H3. So if you guys use SEO Minion, this is one thing that you could use. So if I go back here, I'm just going to go off for a second and I take Roto-Rooter, for example. This is a very clean website. Like they put out a lot of a strategic optimization, if you will, into their sites, into their layouts, into their H categories. So if I really like this guy, and this is the number one guy in my niche, what I could do is I can take the SEO Minion and quite literally just go to analyze the on-page SEO. And this tells me already how I could be structuring my H tags, right? That's you guys might be very, very well aware on that. So what we want to do now that we know what type of keywords are trending, etc., now we can grab our process here and go back to it. And then we can start prioritizing our list, right? So the first thing that we want to do with our clients is confirm with the client the service area. The last thing you want to do is build a list of all the city pages or service pages that the client doesn't want, right? So the first thing we want to do, so that being said, you guys are going to get a copy of the email that we use to confirm with the client. And this is where we tell them, hey, your service area pages need your feedback. This is where we explain what we're going to do and why we're creating those pages. And then we give them the list of 15 cities that we're going to tackle in the first couple of months for them so that they know that there's going to be progress. And guess what, guys? Once you start publishing those pages and they start going live and they can go and check for themselves, they're like, wow, I paid another SEO agency for 2 years and I never got any results. So they start to see some quick wins. The maps start ranking higher. You start getting more phone calls from the maps, from your website, more form submits, and it's a win-win for everyone, right? Are you guys following so far? I want to make sure, Josh, you guys are following me so far.
Yeah, this is great. Everybody wanted the step-by-step details. So give me a yes, guys, in the comment if this is good and you want them to keep going and unpacking this. A couple of you have asked if you're going to get this. Yeah, we're going to share this with some other resources for you guys right after we're done.
Yep, absolutely. And here's what we want to do. This is what I like about Trello. It's like literally instead of you writing a good old boring SOP and a document that everyone gets lost, you can literally copy this URL here and share it with that specific person that's going to be taking care of that step. In this case, we're talking about that preparer, that individual that knows. So what their job is to get clear on the cities, right? Prioritize them. And now comes the fun part. Now, this is where your business is going to change. This is where your life and your business is going to change as you run an agency. And that is by coming up with some sort of form of content brief into how you can document. Hold up. Let me, this one is just a tracker where you want to have a tracker in place internally where you can track and list out all the cities. And as they come through and you're completing them, you could just list them all out. You have everyone inside of your team know what pages are getting done, what person is responsible. That is just a preparation. That's what I meant to have there. The next step right here with the preparer is, let me see here. We go, I think I had it right here, is this specific content brief template, which you guys are all going to have. This changed the game for us, guys. This is where we specify for the city pages. It's the same thing for a service page. The only thing that changes here is instead of city page, it's a service page. So what we're doing here, if we want to target Miami Beach, for example, let me zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. Let me know, Josh, if you can see. You guys can see it. Good. So what we do is that content preparer is pretty much leveraging all the cities that we've listed already. We've made a list. We put them into that sheet. We already verified with the client. It's part of the process, right? We don't want to start building stuff that the client doesn't want. We're all in the same page, everyone. And guess what, guys? That's without my involvement as an agency owner. Zero involvement. That's all taken care of by those individuals. So anyways, we listed the city target, city and the state, the primary keyword, very important primary keyword. And we start compiling the secondary keywords / services. Keywords / services. Those of you guys, if you guys want to find out how to do this effectively and efficiently, for those that like to geek out on SEO. So let's say we do plumbers, Miami Beach, or Miami Beach plumbers, same thing. There you go. Spelled. So we have plumbers, Miami Beach, something that you can leverage to find out keywords. You can leverage keywords everywhere, right? You've got those suggestions here. What we like to do is look at the bottom here. Look at the bottom. What is Google suggesting that is related to that specific keyword? And then we can go a couple of layers deeper. So people are looking for affordable plumbers. Man, okay, so plumbers, Miami Beach, that's the primary keyword. Now we can start associating other keywords, not just questions, keywords, right? Plumbers near me reviews. They're looking for reviews. Best reviewed plumber, right? We can start thinking strategically. So a lot of near me right there in this specific example here. So let me go back here. And that is one way you can come up with secondary keywords. You can run those keywords again, take them into your keyword, what do you call it? Google Keyword Planner. Look for some search volume. You can do Ahrefs. And what you're going to find, guys, is that Ahrefs or SEMrush, when it comes to smaller cities or neighborhood cities, you're not going to get any search volume. But if you take those keywords and you actually put them up on the Google Keyword Planner, you're going to start to find some volumes in there. So again, I'm just sharing with you what you can do. You know, I'm not here to teach you everything about SEO, but this is something that you can leverage and build and come up with something very powerful. Next thing is, once we've mapped this out, is to come up with our content brief. Again, to follow this same example here, Josh, we're going to use Miami Beach plumbers, right, as the primary keyword and the secondary keyword. So I'm going to start sprinkling and making sure that I'm letting the writer know, hey, dude, or hey, girl, I want you to write about in the H1 affordable Miami Beach plumbers. Why is that? Because guess what? That is something that's trendy. People want to find the cheap, the affordable, right? Get where I'm coming from? What about this one? People wanted to find the reviewed, right? The reviewed plumber. So here you go, reputable plumbing services. And guess what? We're targeting two different keywords right here. One for affordable Miami Beach plumbers, and this one is plumbing services and reputable. You see what I'm doing there, guys? Let me know if you're finding this helpful. Hopefully, I'm not putting you guys to sleep here. And once we're outlining, again, this is an H1, right? H1, what I want them to write with Jarvis underneath, put a little introduction about affordable Miami plumbers and whatever the name of the company is with a small call to action. Then we take the H2, and now we can start writing a little bit about drain cleaning, right? Drain cleaning. Give me a little description on drain cleaning. Right, one of those small descriptions. This is where you know, we have Lynn who could use the tool 1,000 times better than I can. But all I can tell you guys is you start going through this list right here and start writing small descriptions. Over time, you're going to end up with a unique page that instead of you paying someone $30 to write for you, someone can crank out in a matter of 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 45 minutes. And you have it done in the same day. And once you have one page, you can take that one city page and recreate it, respin the content, make it unique, right? Tweak it, make sure that you have the writer organized in a specific way. So again, here's another example how we restructure the H2, H3s, right? And again, I'm not relying solely on tools solely on the surfer SEO. I'm relying on strategy, right, rather than tactics. Big difference, guys. If you want to make a lot of money, you got to be focused on strategy rather than tactics. Those of you guys that want, hey, I want a quick win right now, and that's pretty much it. Guess what happens when Google comes and makes an algorithm change? And by the way, everyone here that said, this stuff doesn't work, like, there's been so many algorithm changes this year. All of our clients are still standing good, solid,
Same.
better than before.
Yep.
100%. So again, this is just a process of coming up with the brief, right? And then we ask them what we want. We give them a little example. We tell the writer, hey, if you want an example, here it is. We tell them the word count. Lynn, you beat me on this one here. Yeah, I know you want 750 words. We tell them, hey, look, give me 500 words. Sometimes they go over, sometimes they go less, whatever it is. And we give them everything they need so that then they can get to work and then write the content on the long form editor, bring it here when it's done, send it back, and then we can send to publishing. So again, one piece of document to leverage that entire conversation. We didn't use 20 different tasks on ClickUp or Basecamp or this or that. One specific item, got it done, organized, and we can tackle this very effectively, very efficiently without time wasted. Okay, are we all on the same page, Josh?
This
we're
is
doing
awesome,
great. Austin, how are we
Danny.
doing on? Are we okay with time, Austin? I think we could go.
Yeah, I know we could go on this forever. I think it's really cool what you've created, and the comments are loving it. And in fact, multiple people have said, how could they ethically copy this from you so that they could implement this in their own agency? Is there any download files or links that they could improve, put this process into their works?
100%, Josh.
We've got a resource here for you guys. If you go to sevenfigureagency.com/Jarvis-resources. I don't know if I can put that in comments, Austin.
So it's sevenfigureagency.com/resources.
And then it redirects to a Google Doc with all the key links.
All right. I'm going to put this on the screen here. All right. There it is. So sevenfigureagency.com/.
Sorry, you got to spell it out. I'm going to try and, I don't think that will get you there.
What
it's
is it?
SEVEN?
Yeah, sevenfigureagency.com/Jarvis-resources.
All right. Cool. So it looks like
some people got there. There you go.
sevenfigureagency.com/Jarvis-resources. Here's your download.
Yep.
It has all of the things that we've talked about today. And what I'd like to do is transition the next, portion of this training today into actually inside of Jarvis. So now you guys have the strategy and the theory, and this training was meant to go longer. It's not here to be just a quick, little side training. This is the masterclass on helping SEO agencies conquer their local areas for their clients. So yes, we're talking a little bit about Jarvis, but guys, they're giving you the whole farm, not just, talking about how they use Jarvis, which is so cool. And I got to say, I admire y'all for it. And thank you so much. Our audience really loves it and appreciates it.
So can we pivot? Should we pivot then to how we create this content in Jarvis?
I think that'd be good. And Danny, you have shared a few things about how, like, in this section, we'll go over objections. And then here we'll go over the individual service offerings. And so you can actually use Jarvis commands for that. And I'm sure that you've figured out even more unique ways to use it.
Yep. I like to bring in Lynn right here so that we can work with him on that, if that's okay. Lynn is Lynn. Hey guys, by the way, I think Lynn is like the Elon Musk of digital agency world when it comes to running a lot of things. So Lynn, you want to share your screen and just go through Jarvis, the long form, and I can just read some things, and then I'll just we can take the same example of the Miami plumber, and you could just start creating content there.
Sure. So again, I am not the writer in our agency. That is not my job. I am the CEO and the visionary. But I will fumble through this a little bit for you guys, and I think you'll get a really good idea of how we make this work for clients. I love to start with the combination of sort of Jarvis and Surfer. I like there's an integration there. It's there for a reason. Let's use this sucker if you have it. And so what was the keyword there, Danny? Was it Miami plumber?
Miami Beach plumbers.
Miami Beach plumbers. All right, I'm just gonna go to the content planner here really quick. I'm just gonna throw this keyword in here. It's gonna take just a second. It's gonna go basically scrape the top 10 or more search results, and it's gonna kind of grab the content from those, and it's gonna give us a really good idea of what we need to write about as an agency, because it's gonna tell us what Google is rewarding right now. Is the top rankings. So it shouldn't take long here. Won't be long. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go inside of Jarvis, with this connection, and we're going to write a little content.
Awesome,
Danny, great job on that. I really appreciate that. That's really great. I love how you've laid that out for everyone, and so generous to share. So it's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so Miami Beach plumbers, this is cool. I'm just gonna go, plumbers Miami Beach. This is good enough. I'm just gonna grab. Let me do a search here. High to low, traffic volume, Miami plumbing. This is good. I'm gonna just click on this one. This is just basically gonna create a content editor here for me now, using kind of the keywords that are ranked for Miami plumbing, Miami plumber, best plumbers in Miami. So I'm just gonna let it do its job for a minute. Again, I saw a lot of comments about duplicate content, and I'd love to have a debate about what that actually means, and whether it's a duplicate content penalty or duplicate content filter that we're talking about here. But that's another a debate for another day. But for the most part, the reason we're using Jarvis is the ability for us to not have to just use the same content, to be able to spark ideas. It's more of a I watched a webinar last night with another lady that talked about Jarvis, and one of the things she said was, it basically puts out something that's better than me staring at it and doing nothing for an hour, right?
Right.
Basically, that, yeah, and right, there's no penalty, there's a filter, and that filter really only matters if both keywords are in the same search pool. So, Miami plumber is different than Fort Walton Beach plumber. Those two keywords would never be in the same search pool, which would mean they would never be filtered or penalized. But that's a debate for another day.
Yeah, no, I think that's where things get mixed up is, right. Okay, so what's duplicate content really? Like, you've got to clarify that. So that's the thing. It's if you guys search two different terms, so for example, Miami plumbing or Aqua Pro plumbing or Southwest plumbers, you're going to get completely different results, completely different search results, in the SERPs and in the maps. So just by that fact alone, that tells you something, right?
Yeah, really quickly, the search engine, the duplicate content filter is designed to stop guys like us from building 10 different websites, all trying to rank for the same keywords, all trying to rank with the same content. Building relevant pages to the searcher for different cities is completely acceptable. All right, so I'm just going to open the content editor. It's done its thing. I'm going to kind of walk you through just a couple of little ways that you can get some great content here. We've got the content editor. We're building a content brief. I'm going to go ahead and just click on this, the little gear up here, and we're going to kind of look at these and decide who are our competitors, who are not. So, I'm not going to list Yelp. They're listed in the #1 spot, but that's not really a direct competitor. Plumbing in Miami is. Home Advisor is not. Angie, not really. Directory Expertise, let's say. I don't think that's an actual plumber. Roto-Rooter, sure. Miami 24/7 Plumbing, sure. Falcon Plumbing.net, sure. Main Plumbing Miami, and we'll just get rid of the yellow pages. What this really does is, like, these are the pages that we want to look at for content. And then I'm going to go ahead and just click Let's Go. This is going to open up this content brief. And so one of the things we get to do here is we get to look at this brief data, and it's kind of give us some ideas for H1 tags. Professional plumbers Miami, 24-hour emergency plumbers in Miami, you can depend on. Those are both pretty decent. I'm just going to grab one of those. Professional plumbers Miami. We're going to make that our H1. I'm just going to type it out here. It's easier. And I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm just going to save this. And then I think we're good to go. Now let's head to Jarvis. Let's head over to Jarvis. Let's go to the dashboard. Let's kind of look at templates, I think, and then we're going to go to long form assistant. We're going to start from scratch, and we're going to go to SEO mode here, which opens up Surfer, and I can open up my Miami plumbing little piece of content here. And then we start writing. So we're going to take our, we're going to take our content. So again, I'm not great at this. So I'm this, again, not my job in my agency is to be the content writer. But let's go ahead and see what we can do. So let me go back to my guidelines, my brief. I think I might have closed a window that I needed, but let's just do, what's our headline there, Danny? Professional.
Yeah, affordable Miami Beach plumbers.
Okay. Okay, and then again, we can go ahead in here and use the different modes of this power mode. So I'm gonna have to go in here. So now I'm not great with the Jarvis commands. So if you're around, Austin,
Yeah, just type in write about
yeah,
Miami Beach plumbers. Yeah, brief description about Miami Beach plumbers.
okay, and then I'm just
command return.
Okay. And then Jarvis is going to go ahead and write us a brief description. That seems pretty good. So, I mean, you're going to want to customize this obviously to yourself. So Miami Beach plumbers has been serving Miami-Dade County for Miami to Key West for more than 30 years. Maybe your guy's 25 years. I don't know, right? They offer everything from a heating, air conditioning service. I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop this over here in the description, just because I think what we're going to do next is, Jarvis is going to use this to kind of create the next little bit of content. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. And then I think what I'm going to ask Jarvis to do is write a blog outline. So write a blog outline for the content above. Okay, write services. Okay, so this is good. But one of the things we can do back over in, I'm going to go back to Surfer just because I actually close that window. I want to go back into that content editor and I want to take a look at some of the, over here in the brief, we looked at the H1 tags. We're going to look at some of the H2. So I like what makes this different. That's a good thing to write about. All right. Let's go here and say, how are we different from other plumbers? Get a quote. Frequently asked questions. So this is basic. This is based on, this is based on the content that's already out there ranking. So what our customers are saying about us. Let's go look at some H3s here. We could do, locally owned and operated or
So while he's doing this, I just want you guys to see, the whole idea is we want to crank out great content for our clients. We know we need service pages, city pages, and all kinds of content. If we can leverage this and put it in the hands of our writing teams, because you're not going to do this yourself. I hope none of you guys do this yourself over time.
Yeah.
Danny doesn't, Lynn doesn't, I certainly don't. And we've got hundreds and hundreds of clients that are dominating the search engines, super happy with the service. The idea is to leverage this platform teach your team to use it and really remove yourself from it. But it can generate much better results for the clients you serve.
100%. Yeah.
And again, I'm not great at this tool, but you can take this tool and you can kind of write out your your H2 tags. You can base it on, the keywords over here. If you're looking at SEO mode, you kind of get an idea of what headlines need to be in the page. So let's do it this way. So this is all great, but we want to have a section on residential plumbing, right? We want to have a section on drain cleaning. We want to have a section on, let's see, what else is in here? Emergency services. Let's see, water heater repair. And then you can take these and you can, write a brief paragraph about the,
And something else I want to emphasize on is for example, the content brief, Josh and Lynn, like the content briefs is pretty much the guideline that's going to let the writer come here, just literally run their commands, the command enters, and really get this content done in a very, very speedy format. So I want to emphasize on that. I know we want to talk about Jarvis, but I'm going to tell you, if you want to scale and you want to do this right in a way that's repeatable, that gets you results, that's my approach. Like literally spend time understanding, okay, how is this going to replace a writing person or the writing company I'm using, or how we're going to leverage that. So really the content briefs for us was the place where we found, okay, if we get that content brief done right by the preparer, we can get pretty much someone that is not even a highly skilled writer to come here. As long as they have good English, good grammar, they can correct certain things and crank out pretty good content. Like I say, probably we're used to paying 8 cents a word, somewhere around there to write out that type of content. So definitely that's what Lynn is doing right here, is just going out to the research tool, Surfer SEO, and coming out with the briefs and grabbing that there. Yeah.
And again,
to Danny's point here,
Surfer SEO on the site, and yeah, it's integrated in the boss mode, right? When the level you have to get to have the integration.
Yep, that's boss mode. So you'll be able to have this integration with Surfer. And by the way, we actually have a deal with Surfer. So if you go to surfer.com/Jarvis, you'll be able to get that integration at a discount, which is pretty cool. And then wanted to kind of piggyback on what Danny said about that prompt. You definitely want to make that prompt awesome, because Jarvis is as good as the input. In boss mode, we named it that because a direction from an employee is only as good as the directions given to him by the boss. So if you give Jarvis some really good inputs at the top of the fold, here above all of the content that you write, you just go ahead and paste everything about your client. Everything from about, it's a family-owned business for 25 years, has won these awards in this area, blah, 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 blah. You're now giving Jarvis context to what to write about. And so it is applying what it's understood from around the internet. It's around about 10% of the public internet. And is then applying what it knows about natural language, and then what other sentences it's read leading up to where the cursor is. So it's reading the past 3,000 characters above wherever your blinking cursor is. And that is how it's thinking. What is the best direction to write this? And so the better that you make that prompt, the better output you're going to get. If you just say, it's a plumber, you'll get one kind of output. If you say, this is a family-owned plumber named John who, does this with his son, Freddie, and they're the brothers, they're the family that go out and help Miami get clean, then that is a story Jarvis can hook onto and help continue.
Love it.
Yeah, that's really helpful.
Do you want us to keep going down this path? Is there something else you want to make sure we cover?
I think this is great. I love that you're showing the SEO mode in combination with Jarvis, because that is such a strong duo. I want to see that number go up even further, and like how you think about, where do you apply this right now? It's in the form of a blog post, but then, we have people here that are wanting to use it for ads, for emails, for landing page and website copy. And so how would you navigate throughout this to apply what Jarvis is writing in one place and spin it to apply it to another realm of marketing?
One of the things that I really love about Jarvis is the different templates that are available. Obviously, one of my favorites is the AIDA framework. Basically, I want to show you just one little quick example of I have a client who does Botox, and he's certified. He's a doctor. He does Botox and dermal filler injections. And we need to run some Facebook ads for him, and we need to create some brief copy for something he's running with a local newspaper. And so I'm just going to throw in here his company and product name. This is really simple. I'm going to throw in Botox. I'm going to write a tiny little bit about him. Dr. Korav's a well-trained certified MD, and I'm going to say I'm sort of an excited tone of voice. And when I go ahead and just hit generate content, I'm going to just move this up a little bit. I just want to show you how great some of this content comes out of here. And so, again, we talked about doing some of this for service pages, for location pages. We also do Facebook ads. We do Google. So, hey, do you want to look younger? Botox, simple, non-surgical. Look at this. This is amazing. One of the most popular procedures in the world, used by millions of people. Now with Dr. Korav, you don't have to go anywhere else because he's doing Botox injected right here in your city. I mean, this is really just an amazing a little set for a Facebook ad, or just a little piece of content on his website, or anything, any ad that he might need here. I love this part of the tool. This is one of my favorite things to use. So, how would we do that for, I guess you could technically do this with almost any client. You need a little quick attention, interest, desire, and action kind of framework. It's built right in. Let's take a look at
one of the unsung heroes is the problem agitate solution framework, and then also the marketing angles template. Both of
marketing
those
angles. Yeah, marketing angles is also one of my favorites. I think I used this PAS framework for a webinar that I did once. Delivering websites to your clients can be daunting. We'll show you how to deliver highly optimized websites, convert with little to no pain. I think I just threw that in. We'll try excited. We'll just see what it generates here. Let's crank this up just a little and hit generate.
And by the way, y'all, there's no set tones of voices out there in the world for Jarvis to read off of. It just kind of understands natural human language. And again, in context to the 10% of the internet, it's read. So you could do something like tone of voice of Jerry Seinfeld. And because it has consumed enough of Jerry Seinfeld's content and it knows what that means, it would be able to write in some, form of that tone of voice.
That's amazing. So I guess because it's read a certain part of the internet, it kind of understands, certain celebrities and that sort of thing. Is that right?
Yeah, what the English dictionary has well over 1,000 different emotions in just our language. And then there's so many other languages out there that have very nuanced forms of excitement and happy and whatever. So it knows what that means. Like, it's read the dictionary. It knows all that stuff. So you can put whatever you want in that tone of voice. And it's going to understand what you're saying. So go for it. I mean, I did one with Joe Rogan and it nailed it. It started using all caps, talking about aliens, and it was just hilarious.
I love some of the comments here. Websites that convert, like Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with that? Isn't that awesome? It's freaking great. So I built a whole series of webinar around, for the 7-figure agency about building websites that convert. I used this tool. And basically, this is, I shot a little video before the webinar, and I used this as my video script. I'm like, hey, you guys, I've been in the website design business a while. Every time a client asks me to create this new thing, it's like start from scratch, and we built this whole framework, and I made this whole video about it. And so this is a great tool also. Let's take a look at the marketing angles one. I think that was really great. Let's just see where that one is. Marketing angles. I think I did some of this, like just something simple. You want to help your new lawn care client. You want to help your new lawn care client get some new homes to mow. So lawn care services, we provide weekly months lawn care services to homeowners in Dallas. Again, I'm putting very minimal effort into putting something in here. Obviously, you guys would have a content brief with your client. You would have had met with them. You maybe do a customer avatar exercise with them and have a little better idea of what they're doing. But just generating content like these, again, this is a tool. It sparks ideas. It helps you, expand the. I don't know. They give you some really good marketing angles on things. Help for friendly service. We get the job done so you don't have to. I mean, that's like the best piece of getting your lawn mowed. I hired a lawn care service last year, I think, and my wife. I was staring out the window watching the guy go around on my grass, and she said, "What does that feel like?" And I said, "Honestly, it feels like success. It feels like I've made it." Yeah.
A quick story on the how marketing angles can really help. I was talking to an SEO guy who has a client in Southern California in the window tinting business, and he thought, I'm going to start off, marketing towards these teenage kids that want to tint their sports cars windows to make them look cooler. And he thought that would be the niche that crushes, and the copy and the positioning. And he's like, let's see what Jarvis though will roll with. And rather than going for the young person route, it decided to go for the parents, specifically moms. Protect your children from the harmful California rays in the back seat. Don't let your kids get sunburnt in the minivan. Things like that.
Amazing.
And so, who do you think has a higher willingness to pay? A kid that wants to look cool in a sports car, or a mom that wants to protect her kids from the California rays?
Mama bear every time.
Every time. And so, yeah, that campaign obviously went much better with the direction of Jarvis. And so he wouldn't have thought of that, he said. But it worked out really well.
Can I show you guys one of my favorite templates in here? This is one that we use often. Is the review responder. This thing's crazy. Look at this. I just did a quick Google search. I typed in AC repair near me or something, and I looked at some of the reviews. I grabbed the worst review that I could find. This one essentially says, hey, needing teenager drivers, I was almost killed by one of them in traffic. If they can't drive, I imagine what they'll do to your AC, right? So this is one that we use. Another one, we had an actual client who had a person come in and accuse them of being racist because they wouldn't let her cut in line, something, I don't know. And they wrote, this place is racist and whatever. And we threw it in here, and the output from that was kind of beautiful. It was really magical. So let's just see what this thing pumps out. Like, hey, you almost killed me. Let's see what Jarvis will give us back.
Yeah. So here, Jarvis is asked to be more empathetic and kind, and in its responses. So we've trained it on some of the best responses I've ever seen to a really good review responder, or support response, and so that's what Jarvis is made to do in this specific template.
These are great. I couldn't have come up with this. We're sorry to hear that a driver made an error in judgment and put you in danger. Please know that we take it seriously, and we'll be following up with this immediately. We want to apologize. And I mean, I couldn't have written this. This is not something. I'm an empathetic guy, and I'm soft, but I can't find the words sometimes. And this is beautiful. So we had one. Let me see if it's in here recently.
And for SEO, is it a good idea to respond to the comments on your Google My Business, Yelp, etc.?
Oh my gosh, you have to. Absolutely must. The good ones and the bad ones. I think that's something that you should do to every review that you get. You should acknowledge it. You should respond to it. You should probably include the keywords in it if they haven't. Yeah, perfect. Yes, with keywords exactly. I would definitely try and squeeze your keyword in it if it makes sense without being too obvious. But yes, you absolutely should respond to your reviews on Google My Business and anywhere else for that matter.
And to come up with unique, not just copy and paste, thank you, it takes a lot of time. And so maybe this template could, fast forward that for you.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. I see a couple questions in the chat. I'd love to just unless you guys want me to do something else here really quick, I'd love to answer a couple of them that are just standing right out there for me. Good with that?
All right, so we got this one here. John says, which template would you use to build general website pages?
Hey John, I'm just getting in sort of the boss mode and the recipes, and this is something that maybe Austin can help out with. But there are recipes in here that are really amazing about creating blog posts or expanding things. But if you kind of learn how the recipes work here, one of the ones that I saw here that was really amazing is just sort of an idea generator. And basically, you just tell Jarvis to give you a bunch of really cool ideas. It'll give you, headlines, copy ideas. I like to use and I'm going to answer one of the other questions in the chat at the same time. The words over there in Surfer are coming from the LSI keywords that are coming from the competitors that are ranked in the top 10 in Google. So yes, we love to make sure that we're including the words. I mean, we use some really crazy tools to do that. We can use like Page Optimizer Pro. We use a tool called Cora, which is really sort of advanced SEO stuff that tells us, we need more LSI keywords in the title. We need more HTML on the page. Like we get really, or can get really in depth about the kind of tunings you need to do to pages. And so we use our SEO knowledge in combination with Jarvis to deliver great content. We want to make sure we're not just putting out content to put out content. Don't just blog to blog. Let's blog with a purpose. Let's blog with the intent of supporting our other internal pages. And so, using all of the tools we have at our disposal. I love the long form content generator. But there's a combination
could be interesting. It could be interesting to pull in Danny's his template he showed us earlier of how he designs the site, but he was showing in the H1 we'll use this set of keywords, and the H2 the 3 little check marks, because that's essentially what a recipe is. Now he gave a little bit of design, but it's basically a series of prompts that what we would do first is if we were to open up boss mode, you would put all of the information you can about your client, just to give it context, some knowledge. And then we would say in the headline, we would type, hey, Jarvis, write a headline that mentions Miami plumbers or something like that. And so this ends up becoming a standard operating procedure that you could rinse and repeat for every single client. And there's some really cool things that are coming about this soon. So we got this out 3 weeks ago as an MVP. But there's some overhauls that are coming that are going to make this an amazing tool for your all's SEO work.
Yeah, the recipes are amazing. I'm not really, again, I'm not the writer in my company, so I haven't really dug in as much of it as I'd like. But basically, you can see the concept here is it just tells you what to do. Like you could create this for your writer. It's like, hey, idea factory for product name. So you put you're going to put the product name here. It could be Miami plumber. And then you just follow the directions. Write some headlines for the above. Again, I'm skipping a little bit, but paste. So you create this.
So anywhere that it has
product name.
Exactly. Anywhere that you see the product name, you would actually put your product's name or plumber's name or whatever. all of those little spaces are for you to do. And then if you ever see the arrow, like write some headlines for the above, that is the command. And so you'll just command enter at the end of that, and it'll read all of the above as the directions.
Right. So like you were saying before, if you give it really good information up here, and then you ask it to write some headlines for that great information that you put up here, now you're going to get better content than if you're just winging it. And then you could do the same thing again. As part of it, we'll create a recipe for a location page or a service page, and we'll come up with a recipe and we'll put that in here, and we'll share it out with the group.
That'd be really cool.
I'll work with it a little closer with my writer, and we'll come up with something great.
Heck yeah, man. I would love to see that. And why don't we just promise to put it on the resources page that we talked about earlier. That is at sevenfigureagency.com/Jarvis-resources.
Okay.
And so whenever somebody watches the recording here, they'll be able to go to that and find it.
You got it.
Sweet. Well, as we wrap up here, let's maybe do a 10-minute Q&A. And at the end of all of that, we'll be off on our way and let's start ranking some pages.
Awesome.
So I'm going to show the chat, and if you guys start asking questions, it'll show up here on the side, and we can go through each one of them.
Okay. Sure. Would it be a good idea to simulate the recipes from the competitor on the first page for any given keyword? Of course. I mean, that's the core of great SEO. What is Google rewarding right now? This page is ranked for a reason. Reverse engineer what they're doing and recreate it 1,000%.
All right, let's see.
Recipes are great. Yeah. Guys, I wanted to say thanks, because I've learned a lot from this tool by watching your guys' training. Your academy or the certification. It's amazing. Yeah. I think we threw a link to it in the resource because I enjoyed it so much. There's some great YouTube channels out there. There's a lot of people using the tool. A lot of really smart SEO minds around the tool putting out YouTube content. I've learned a lot from those guys. I don't know that I'm bringing anything game breaking from the Jarvis side. I'm an SEO guy. I've been for what I feel like is 100 years now, and I'm trying to merge those two technologies together. But I'm learning a lot from a lot of guys here in the group, in the chat, and on YouTube. So thanks to anybody who paved the way ahead of us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Kyle's done a really amazing job here at the boot camp. So just props to him. He has turned, a new technology into such simple, easy to understand for even grandma to understand it. And even if, English isn't your native language, you can end up using Jarvis, which is really cool, to service clients in different countries using different tongues. So I think the community, what you guys have been able to provide in today's training, is something incredible, so valuable. I think this is going to be a cornerstone piece of content that will be able to forever live in the academy. And so I just want to throw it back to you guys. Thank you so much for educating me and the rest of the audience on how to use Jarvis for SEO.
Awesome. I want to say this really quick. I want to say this really quick because Josh is probably too humble to do so. Josh is, and what he's created, the seven-figure agency, Josh is the most transparent, generous, giving leader of agencies, men and women, that I've ever met. And it's a pleasure to be even associated with the guy, much less to be, working hand in hand with him. So what you saw today is just an extension or just a small fraction of who Josh is and what he's, what he gives. And Danny too. Danny is incredibly useful and generous. It's the word I was looking for there.
Yeah, for sure. Josh, yeah, thanks for leading this training. And, one question we have from Fast Growth is, what niche do you recommend right now as a good one for SEO agencies to go after?
I think the best niche is the one that you've got some affinity with. the one that you've got some background with and you kind of feel like you can resonate with. We've got agencies that are crushing it in just about any vertical you can imagine. Danny in decorative concrete, like literally the guys that go out and restamp the concrete. I would have thought, like, is that really a vertical? He's built a 7-figure agency in it. Alan Hillsberg works with funeral homes, right? So, I mean, you can really win if you position yourself in the vertical and you go after it in a specific way and you generate tangible, measurable results. So I'm not going to say there's one magical niche. It's the one that you resonate with best.
Great answer. All right, guys. Well, it looks like we are finished up with the questions. It's a lot of congratulations and thanks for the team. So with that, we can continue the conversation. If you hop in a Facebook group and you can search for this training, the replay will be live instantly. And if you tag any of us, we'll get notified. So if you have a question as you're watching the replay, go ahead, just go into the comments, tag us, and we'll try and hit you back shortly.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for showing up. And we hope to do more trainings like this. So tune around every Wednesday or Thursday. And I'm going to be bringing in more and more experts like Josh and the crew here. And so we're going to be focused on everything from landing pages, SEO, email marketing. The list goes on. We learn more use cases for Jarvis every day. Thanks to the community here. So with that, I'll see you guys in the Jarvis Facebook group. Peace.
Guys, thank you, Austin. Thank you, Josh, Lynn.